Call the meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to roll call.
Casey Benner.
Here.
Mark Buckeye. Tom Hooper. Here. Whitney Tucker.
Here.
Bill Hart. Here. Quorum.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting, but we actually need to amend the agenda. We need to move the SGHC 026-22 up to new business instead of under administrative approvals.
Yes.
You need a motion to do that?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was August 15th of 2022.
I so move as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving on to introduction of evidence.
As normal, I have the city ordinance book here, the design guidelines, and then there's a copy of the staff packet on the table that you received, last Tuesday, I think. Any questions on the evidence?
Can I get a motion to accept the evidence?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to old business.
Just last month, if you remember, we decided to go from our 2 grants to 1, and that grant is the workshop grant. Still waiting on the federal funding to come to SHPO, so we will obviously have to adjust our timetable. The original timetable that was submitted with the application in November will have to be updated. So this event will probably take place in the spring now. So just FYI on that. And it was for flooring and siding, I believe. That's all I have.
Okay, moving on to new business, SGHC 026-22, to receive a certificate of appropriateness to replace an existing asbestos cement roof on the main block of the house with an architectural shingle roof at 699 North 4th Street. Do we have anyone here to speak on that?
Yeah.
Could you come to the podium and introduce yourself, please?
Yes, absolutely. I'm Tyler, and I'm owner of Superior Roofing Strategies. Here on behalf of Ken Lewis, and then also our company, to support the claim of changing the asbestos tile shingles to Owens Corning duration shingles. Most of the property is dressed in a shingle already. It's the main structure of the house, which is probably like, I'd say a little under a third of the entire portion is only asbestos. So most of the house is already existing in shingle. So, and then I have a sample here of the type of shingle that we'd like to install. So, would you like to see it? All right. Here's the live sample of it right here with the color. And then here's a booklet as well with explaining the language portion of it. And it's just got a little bit more advanced stuff. Actually, I'm missing a tab there, but yep, that's everything. So I think that's it.
Do we have any questions?
Two, they don't make the tile anymore. That's been out for, I think, like the last 20 years, 15, 20 years or so. So
Are we to weigh in here on?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think it's pretty much, given that, you know, the current roof is probably from the 1920s, this seems to, I mean, I'm sure the Papin house had shakes on it originally, and I don't think anything looks more like shake, that's not shake, than this type of architectural shingle. So I'm a major house hugger myself, and I've used the same thing in place of shakes myself. So I think it's a good replacement material when obviously real shakes are not kind of a viable and economical replacement.
Definitely a lot more cost effective as well, so.
The thing that holds me up is that the actual guidelines for the city, like, refer to the shingles themselves. So the gray color doesn't meet it, but then also the texture doesn't meet.
The guidelines?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guidelines for a house of this age, and it should be either a standing seam or shake.
Yeah. Have
That's
you-
in the ordinances.
Have you considered other options that closer meet the guidelines, or is this kind of the?
Well, the insurance company did approve on paying it for a portion of the roof, and then this just kind of meets that criteria with like the budget all playing a role. Standing seam is substantially, you know, way more than what the cost of these 50-year shingles are, and then the same with shake. Shake's even more than that, so it's just like kind of out there as far as price goes as well. But like I said, the majority of the house is already in shingles. It's just that main structure, which is like a third portion of the house is only has the asbestos on it. So
Well, being that this is the house that faces the street, they're a little more strict on it.
gotcha.
Is there a problem with the slate that it's needing replaced? You said something about the insurance company?
Yeah, there's multiple portions of where it's cracked, and then like the detail around the chimney. It's just it's getting to that point where it needs to be replaced for sure. And then have the insurance company agreed to pay a portion of that as well. So.
I'm going to leave it to the senior members of the commission to weigh in.
Yeah, I just wish it wasn't a portion that wasn't facing the street, because that becomes quite a concern. Because, you know, then what happens is other people come in and want to say, they did it, we want to, even though they have, you know, existing shakes or standing seam in their roofs. And so, because of the nature of the house, it falls under a little different scrutiny.
Well, there isn't a slate tile that's even manufactured that even looks similar to what that asbestos tile looks like. You know, it's there's really nothing on the market that looks even similar. You know, you have that standard multi-width and single-width slate, which is typically like what you see on the old church here, the Catholic Church, where Valley's at. But other than that, there's not like a whole lot on the market that's even remotely looks close to what that stuff really looks like. And the standing seam, I'm just, not like a huge fan. When we got cut up portions, there is, I think, 2 dormers that come out the front of that, too. But just kind of a toss up. You know, we're really hoping and pushing for this, just under the circumstances that the rest of the roof, you know, the majority of the roof is done in shingles. So definitely like you guys to consider it.
Yes, I think I must have spoken prematurely, because I mean, I just got your copy of the
Yeah.
guidelines.
Right, just, yeah, aesthetically, you know, they fit with the rest of the house where it is, but with the nature of the house, they're, you know, and we can't go back and undo some things that have been done to it,
Right. Okay.
but we can, going forward, do things correctly.
So can we agree that this isn't going to work, and
Well, we just need to.
what other ideas can we
Right,
offer?
that's the question.
Are you guys looking for just like a more thorough alternative solution that may meet the criteria of close? I mean, like, what is it that you're really after? Just like maybe like something that's a tile roof that might work for that, or?
Well, the criteria is shake or standing seam by historic preservations, by the standards. And so it's getting something a little closer to that.
Do we have any kind of clause as to replacement materials and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate for replacement materials? No?
That was
The,
my next question.
Yeah.
Guideline H17 is roof materials should be used in a manner similar, yeah, you got it there, so.
Similar.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I just wish that they made some of these that looked more like the shake roofs and things.
So-
I know they do have some things available. There's actually some metal that come as shakes that look like shakes that are metal roof. But we may not have those available here.
Yeah.
Under H17, you've got A and B, so those are really the points. So try to preserve the original roof materials that are in good condition. Replacement roof materials should convey a scale and texture similar to those used traditionally.
Well, I would argue that that does. I mean, I've done tax credit projects before, and those meet the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic rehabilitation. I mean, I know it's,
Yeah, I think it would be.
I know
since they
we're
are
dealing with the
repla-
National Historic Landmark District here, and that certainly,
Well, if it had shakes on it, there would be no question that it would have to be replaced with shakes. But since they have other material, we may go to the safety that the roof is non-complying as it is and could be replaced with a non-compliant material.
and it does say convey a scale and texture similar.
Right.
It doesn't say that it has to be exactly the
Right,
same
and
material.
because it's already non-compliant.
Right,
Then
right.
we can justify that. It's a matter of what this says to the rest of the community. So we need to take that into consideration.
Right.
Not necessarily our own personal views, but between, you know, because we can go both ways on this, and they're very valid, both of them.
You can hand me that book.
Yeah, there is more, if I may speak, there is more of a gray, overly gray, which might complement it more.
Yeah, or I used to use the kind of brownish one.
I was gonna say, it
More
says
like-
earth tones,
Yeah,
That one.
or that one.
that's the one I used to use right there.
That one. Yeah, that
So this would
that
look,
has a.
It does look more
better-
like wood, and it has variations in the texture and color that make it look more like a
Yeah,
shake.
that's,
So, I approach. Okay, slate stone gray, that tab is missing right here, but it has like, I don't know,
but
you're looking
the
at.
shakes are brown tone.
Okay,
so
you're
we're
saying
trying
the
to go
shade
completely
tile.
away from the slate,
I
because the
gotcha.
slate's
Try
non-compliant.
to look towards,
Okay.
you know, the view from the street is, so.
Yeah, because it would not have had slate.
Right.
shingles on it
Gotcha,
ever.
okay. So the brown wood or like this desert tan, you would be.
That-
I lean towards
Yeah.
this
That-
one.
that would
I
give
think
us-
that's, yeah.
It would give a much better look.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I mean, if these,
Mine's-
yeah,
mine's-
Ken's okay with it, I mean, I'm okay with it.
Would that work for you?
I'm satisfied with that.
So I have a question. If we're going to look towards the more brown natural colors, will you replace the rest of the roof? Like the back part that's already shingled, so that it
Correct.
blends
Yeah,
in?
Correct, the entire roof will be getting replaced with the same color.
Okay.
Yep, and the same shingle as well, so.
That adds a continuity to it, and yeah. It shows we at least took some concern.
It's a very murky gray area because the roof that's on it.
Yeah, and
Isn't
and that was, but we,
Yeah.
it's non-complying, we, can approve a non-complying material replacing that.
Do we have any additional questions?
Any other comments?
I think we're good. I mean, I think that pretty much covers, everything.
Text or something. Yeah, I think it means it. I'm good with that.
Oh, well, are we ready for a vote then?
If we're ready for a vote, let's go.
Okay, so you need to call a vote then, Chairman,
Well, we don't have a motion yet.
or motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve with the stipulation of the color change.
What's the, do you mind the,
Desert tan?
okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve with the color change to the desert tan shingles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay,
I'll have the certificate in the mail to you tomorrow.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. You guys don't need any further samples of that desert tan or anything, right? We're good? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to administrative approvals.
Yes, so you'll see there, there was a certificate of appropriateness on a non-contributing property to construct an ADA compliant ramp, which we have done before. That's at 220 North 4th. And then we had an attestation as to material replacement for 2 roofs, one at 224 St. Mary Road and one at 234 Market. One was existing architectural shingle and the other was standing seam. And they are going back with the same materials.
And in cases like that, staff just goes ahead and approves? Yeah.
Yes, so if it's same material, it's just an attestation that they swear they're gonna do that. And
Yep.
then a COA for a non-contributing. Unless, like if someone were to come to me and say, we want to cut out new windows, I'd be like, I'm gonna ship that to the Heritage Commission.
Yeah,
But yes, sir.
okay.
Okay, public comments?
I'm just your alderman liaison.
Okay, we can adjourn.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all very much.